Just forget about last night. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. Do not want to go on record. It wasn't pretty nice. But my point is, it was during a championship game, playoff game, that we had. This happened actually in 1990. And a bird flew over the stadium, and they described that bird on that fall afternoon. They said, "There's Georgia Southern's mascot. Just happened to be circling." Now, a lot of good things happen in Statesboro. A lot of good things happen at Georgia Southern. And it's flying over the stadium, middle of the afternoon, circling, and the television camera puts the focus on it and says, "There's its mascot." But as we say here in South Georgia, and I think we include Waycross, it weren't no eagle. It was a buzzard, folks. True story, can't make this stuff up. The only reason we're here today, and we've been now open 20 years, is because of one incident. Scott and I were talking. Scott's been with the Wildlife Center as long as I have, nearly so. And he's the curator, which means how these birds fly, good, bad, or otherwise. I get to blame him. But we've been together for a lot of years, and it really did. We were talking on the way up here how things just happen, and it just happened. I have a finance degree from Georgia Southern College. I'm now the bird guy. And Scott, what was your major? Anthropology. That has a lot to do with taking care of 14-foot pythons and alligators, doesn't it? So, my point to the younger audience, what's ahead of you, what's your future, who knows? My suggestion to you, strong recommendation, I own 4 kids. I say that they're adults now. Stay open-minded. You're here to have education, to not close your bandwidth, but to open and be exposed to a lot of things. Take a risk now and then. Take responsible risks. So, got the coolest job. We're here. Now, why did they come to me? Why did they come to Steve Hine when this incident happened? Simply this, that I have been flying birds of prey specifically. Now I'm coming up on my 31st season. So before the Wildlife Center, I was this weird guy who played with birds of prey in the ancient sport of falconry, hunting with birds of prey. I have nothing against, and let me say this up front, Scott, too. We hunt, we fish, we do things like that. But what I really enjoyed doing, until to this day, is employing my birds of prey in a 4,000-year tradition where people have utilized them to hunt. So, real quickly, and the reason I bring this bird has a hood on. Notice that has a hood? That's not the head. This is my own personal bird, so he's not trained like the other birds. But I start with him to give you a little bit of background. Birds of prey are defined by 3 physiological traits. Their body, different than a cardinal, blue jay, robin, duck, heron, they have 3 things about their body, and I'm going to look for the little ones here. Good eye contact here. 3 things about the body, and if you can't get it, we'll see if the older college students can get the answer. Now, and I'm going to give you a real good clue. There's 3 things that make their body different than other birds, and one of them, let me give you a good clue. They have different, trying to grasp a good clue. What would be a great clue? How a bird of prey is, yes. Oh, the beak, very, very good. So they have a curved beak, very much, yeah, sure. What's another one that I was actually working with? Talons, and you like that? I love it. Said it correctly, not talents. It's not the bird's talents. And by the way, I'm the founding director, or whatever we want to call it, of the Raptor Center, R-A-P-T-O. I am not the director of a Raptor Center. Just want to get that in there. Totally different as well. So, and there's one other thing. Before they can use that curved beak, and before they can use the sharp talons, there's one other thing about birds of prey, and I'm trying to think if I can give you a good clue, that make them really, really fascinating. I'm just trying to think of a good clue. Help me out, so I'm going to hurt myself. What would it be? Eyes. Thank you so much. So, 3 things. Eyesight, the better to see you with. Very, very sharp talons, and the curvature of the beak. Which one do they use first? 3 things that make a bird of prey, but which one are they going to use first? Yes. Their eyes. That's pretty good. And the second thing? What is it? Claws. And we call them talons. And then the last, the weapon are the feet, not the beak. The beak is simply, the beak is the fork and knife. Now, so we've described what a bird of prey is. We're going to run through some things quickly. You're going to see a variety. We're going to fly right over your head. But I will say this, that this is a special bird. And I'm looking to the college student, what type of bird of prey is this? Again, we know there's eagles, hawks, falcons, owls. What type is this? Falcon, very good. And what is so special, and this is what's great about small groups, we kind of have this exchange. What's so special about it? What makes this the Olympic gold medalist of all life on planet Earth? There's some record that they hold that is second to none. Fastest. And how fast? You know, I love the enthusiasm down here, the home of the Hawks. And this gentleman here says he thinks this bird can go 200 miles an hour. That's almost like the enthusiasm of a little kid, because the truth is they go 240 to 50 miles an hour. So they actually go faster than that. This is the fastest living thing. So when I'm hunting with this bird, the peregrine, I let it go aloft, and he'll go up to 2,000 or 3,000 feet. Scott's been with me hundreds of times. We've caught ducks together and stuff like that. So we watch it, and I'll use Scott as my dog. So the falcon's up. I know I've got some ducks there. Scott, go watch the ducks. And they, he's younger than I am. He'll go in and flush the ducks. The ducks leave. They had no idea because you can't see the falcon. I've got equipment on him. I'm tracking him. I know he's up overhead. And so the ducks leave, thinking, well, here's some crazy Scott running in the water. Next thing you know, the ducks are leaving, 15, 20 wood ducks, and all of a sudden you look up. Scott's done it many times for me. And you hear coming in at 250 miles an hour. It's too late, folks. Doesn't matter that he's making noise. He's making noise because of these stiff primary feathers, unlike some other birds I'm going to show you, are oscillating in that incredible tension of the dive, stoop we call it. And it's coming down, twisting and turning, and it's experiencing 28 G's. There's a STEM thing for you. What are G-force, right? Gravity. 28 times gravity against every square inch of this body. But anyway, it's coming down, and at the last minute, boom, punches the lights out. Okay, that was pretty graphic, but it's fun. It's what keeps me in the game. I just got to keep it real. So anyway, peregrine falcon, fast bird. We're going to do some things, and Scott, as I said, he's been here forever. And as I give me a second, Scott, we want to be very safe in this, and Scott knows it better than I. I'm going to put this bird up, and Scott's going to bring out another one, and he's been handling it nearly as long as I, but I want to make sure, Scott, you're okay. Let me just, for security, let me get this guy locked up, and before you take stage with that next one. Make sure we are good. Okay, Scott, you're going to walk this next one, so I think we're good with this. Scott, if you're ready, go ahead and do this. And if you need, let me get the other glove in case you need me. Okay, are you ready? Oh my gosh. Can you handle him, Scott? Is he too much for you? He's a manly man. Folks, here's one of the things I wanted to point out as we bring, this is a Eurasian kestrel, which is also a falcon, but this one's from Europe. He's small. Birds of prey are not defined by being the largest necessarily. In fact, if I ask you really quickly, what is the largest bird in the entire world? It is a ostrich. Usually it takes people a while. They're just grinding the wheels. It's not a bird of prey. It's an ostrich. Been to Africa a couple times. This is a bird of prey. He's defined by those three things we talked about: the eyes, the beak, and the talons. And yet diminutive. His size, you could even say he's kind of cute. A lot of people do. They're like, oh, he's so cute. But I remind people, if you are a mouse, not so much. Okay. He is a stone cold killer. That's what he's designed to do. But a lot of people, because they're so small, they go, well, I think he's really kind of adorable and cute. Now, he's made for hunting. You see the long primary feathers, made for speed, a little larger than our North American kestrel, which we have here. A lot of these birds that you're going to see are right here in Waycross. So we do have a kestrel here, but it's actually a little bit smaller. So we do have some fun with these guys. And I think Scott, are we going to actually... is now the time to give it a shot and fly, you think? Sure. Okay, well, let me go ahead. I'm not quite ready. Let's go. This is where it gets fun, folks, and for us at least. I don't know, it may traumatize you, but we're going to try and have some fun. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and put that up. So, again, the falcons you have here, by the way, you do have peregrine falcons. You only have falcons, and they're more along our coastal, but we're close enough. You may periodically see falcons, but you'll only see them while they're on migration. We don't have them as year-round residents here. We do have kestrels here. They'll be on migration this time of the year. And then the next bird we're going to come. And you know what? Should I come down to your side? Okay. You got everything you need? You got food? Okay. And I take it, Scott, you want to just walk? That's not what it's about. Come out further. That was a little rich. Everybody wait. I was caught no man. Did you see me? I just went like, I did the whole frozen mess. Which way do I go? I'm going to let you walk and I'll stand here. So let me get rehooked since I kind of blew everybody's ear. Ooh. Should I even be doing this? Is this a loaded gun here? Let me just, here we go. I think we're all right? Okay, Scott, I'm going to let you walk past me the next bird and we're going to give this a try and everybody, hopefully no one's going to be walking in, but take a look at this. This is a bird. We talk about hawks, your mascot, folks. This is it. This is your mascot. In all likelihood, this is the red-tailed hawk. It's the most common large bird of prey that you're going to see. Not only here in Georgia, but throughout much of the southeastern U.S. And one could arguably say, even in the United States, this is the most common large bird of prey that you're going to see. So we're going to make sure that he's focused on me first. Here we go. Here we go. Just hold on. Here we go. This is what it's all about, folks. All righty. He's going to look towards there. Here we go. All right. You just don't really rush a bird of prey, a powerful bird. You just kind of let him think about it. Here we go. We got another one that's vocalizing a bit there. Now, red-tailed, most common, as I said, you're going to see them right here on grounds. I guarantee you, if you spend time and just look, they are working your little patches of woods here. If you look on telephone poles, you're going to see them. If you look soaring, they're great at thermaling, taking advantage of weather conditions and so forth. So we'll get, she's blind in one eye. You want to walk on the other side? Scott, we'll try that. Now, they get their namesake, red tail. They in fact have a red tail. Oh, I thought you could go around. No. They have a red tail. That'll work. They don't get that red tail until their second year. So first year, very grand. Second year. Well, we got something for you a little bit later. You are now a marked man. So here we go. Let's see. So again, it's not a bright red. It's kind of a brick red in coloration. Looking at, what do we see there? Oh, dropped it. We're going to cover that up. Now, not fast like the peregrine. They don't hold the record for speed, but one would argue they are one of the most adaptable that found all over. Here we go. Very strong, powerful feet. They're kind of they're from air to ground. They're going to be looking at the ground. I'll tell you one of their favorite foods. Anything that's called on the ground. But we think about mice, rats, rabbits. But the shocker, the thing that I think is most surprising, though they have no immunity whatsoever, this is the number one, get a little bit, number one, no, I got my foot covered, natural predator, things in the wild. This is number one natural predator of our eastern diamondback rattlesnakes. It kills more rattlesnakes than anything else. They're not immune, folks. I have friends of mine who are falconers who had birds that have gone after, let's walk you up, have gone after venomous snakes. And came up on the short end of it, and they died. So they're not immune to it, but they will not hesitate. Question for you, kind of along this whole STEM science thing, and we're just going to see, we'll do one more. How much do you think this red-tailed hawk weighs? Let's get this last slide in here. 10 minutes? I'm not going to push it. You go when you want to. 35 pounds. That's a very good guess, Scott, if you'll let people get a few photographs. I got 35 pounds right here for you. I got 40. How much is this over here? How much does the bird weigh? 3 pounds. Pardon? How much does it weigh? 25. Good count.
No, he's like 3 pounds.
Gentleman in the back says 20. I got 20 over here. I got 3 pounds over in the back. You know what 3 pounds is great?
Yes.
Big bird, 4.5 foot wingspan, only weighs 3 pounds. Why? Again, we're all about science, right? Hollow skeletal birds that fly have naturally. Think about that. Your chicken leg, hollow. It's one of the reasons you don't feed one that's cooked to a dog because it's squeakers. Okay. Take a good T-bone steak. I know you're not going to admit it, but you love to just gnaw on that thing when everybody else it's good. Okay, but you whack somebody with the T-bone, it's going to hurt. It's very dense, very heavy. This, not so much. And yet, this bird's weaponry, its talons, are 2 inches. The hallux, the rear one, is 2 inches long. You'd have to get to even a 125-pound mountain lion. Cougar does not have a weapon, a claw, that's 2 inches long. That 3-pound bird does. It can exert a tremendous amount of power. Real quickly, how many of you would speculate that the stronger between the sexes, male or female, what's bigger and stronger?
Female.
That would be the female. Female birds are great. Eagles, falcons, bigger, more powerful. 34 years married, 3 daughters. I know it to be so. Okay. Another STEM-related science. It's a fact. It's not often in your books, but females rule. Males are going to be small. So this, what do we have? That's your namesake, isn't it? Is that Scotty? Yes. Yeah, so I figured. And we're going to bring out another one here in just a second. We'll put this one up and we'll see the one who's been making all the noise. A little boisterous. Ready for one? See if you'll be noisy when we break down. If you're gonna walk them on back. Well, don't we have a lot to say about it? That's an unusual sound. This actually, in fairness, this is the most vocal owl. This is the most vocal hawk in North America. It's called the red-shouldered hawk. It's the smaller cousin. Yeah, wow. Okay, here's your full meal deal. Come on, what's that? Yeah, a little enthusiastic. We'll talk about that in a second. Let him get it down. This is a little male. Look at the little bit of a red shoulder patch here, but you see that heavy barn, we call it. Where the red tail we just saw is open field areas and woods, but hunting the ground. This guy's almost always found around water. So here, around swampy areas, you're going to have a lot of water down here. We know that. Okay, are you struggling a bit? But you eat talk about giving you the cold shoulder. That's pretty intense. I guess I can try to catch it. Actually, it's hooked on his upper mandible. You know, there's some reason why I just don't want to reach up there. Can you imagine? Can't imagine. But Scott's getting ready to come to the rescue here, I think. I'm surprised he won't pick it off. I think I've got his. You want to just have a step up? Now, let me talk to you a little bit more about the vocalization. Well, I said that this is the most vocal of all the North Valley. Yeah, he loves you too, Scott. Scott works with him far more than I do, but he's trying to he shoved his upper beak right through the piece of meat, and he cannot scrape it off as of yet. But this bird, let me explain, he was blind in one eye. He was, all the birds that we have on display, and many of the birds that we see today, were injured. He was injured. He was either in the nest or we're not exactly sure, but he lost an eye. He was gathered up by a good Samaritan, if you will, and he was raised, and they were successful in raising him. You think good, and I'm not disagreeing with it. The downside is, here we go. Wow, still. Here we go, we got that one on, here we go. Here we go, we can, okay, yeah. You must have missed breakfast. Yeah. So I was talking about the vocalization, the fact that he was gathered up. You want to do one more, or you want to go to the other side?
We can go outside.
Okay. He was gathered up. He was raised, fed, and they did a good enough job. And he was raised successfully. But because he was raised and had so much contact at such an early age, he is deemed by U.S. Fish and Wildlife. He's an imprinted bird. And that simply means that when he could focus, at the age that he could focus, all of his attention was on his human caregivers. So that imprinting meant is that he imprinted the people. His sense of who he is that he is a person. Or he looks at all of you as being red-shouldered hawks. Not a good thing for trying to make your way and living in the natural world. Why? Because you can see, here we go, is if you're out there barbecuing and this bird flies on top of your shoulder to say hello, you're probably going to kill him, right? He would not think, he would not hesitate. In fact, because Scott and he spend so much time together, in the springtime of the year while we're doing shows at our amphitheater, all of a sudden, he'll pick up a stick and come fly to Scott, just kind of romancing Scott. He's a good-looking guy. But that's really not going to serve you well in a while. So his very sexuality is towards people. So we see this hormonally, and sometimes he won't fly, he'll courtship, he'll talk, again, so they said he cannot be released in the wild. He's certainly not going to survive. He's blind in one eye. So that vocalization that I was referencing is even more exaggerated by virtue that Scott, let us do this one more. You're doing so good for us here. Okay, one last one. Can we make your way here? And they're down on our coastal areas of marshes and stuff like that. We'll see them, rivers, and once you hear the sound, if you've heard the sound hunting, you'll remember it forever. When you hear that vocalization, that is your red. He's the smaller cousin of the red-tailed hawk. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you very much. Oh, another thing I need to share with you, just because these are questions that people ask all the time. Make no mistake, being at the top of the food chain, being apex predatory animals, does not make life easy. The mortality rate on these birds that you're seeing today is anywhere from 50 to 70% in the first year. They don't make it even to the first birthday. So it's not easy. We look at majestic animals and the powerful apex. These are things that we model ourselves after. Think about it. Is there any wonderment as to why your mascot's a hawk and Georgia Southern's an eagle? It's because it's apex, top. Detroit Lions, Chicago Bear, Atlanta Falcons, right? We tend to name our sports teams after the big and powerful. You probably never really spent any time in this realm, but we want to embody the big and the powerful. You don't want your mascot. I'm looking at a beautiful symbol here, very well designed, crafted South Georgia State Hawks. Could you imagine, and would you be in the seats attending, if it was the South Georgia State College Salamanders? Woo! Lays kind of flat. This doesn't work. Travel all the way from here to go to Atlanta to see a football team called the Toads. And those Toads, they rock on Sunday. It has to do with us, folks. Most people don't do it, and I'll tell you where we see this come to juxtapose or come at a collision. People are like, I rescue this, I do this, and we're kind of pretending like we're not an apex predator. Well, pretend all you want. I saw you drive through Chick-fil-A. I mean, you're still consuming. You're still actually eating. I got leather gloves, I'm part of the food chain, folks. But it's like, no, I'm not. Yeah, you are. And we heard the laughter in terms of the sports team because we identify. I bring out a snake in the middle of the food chain. Fortunately for you guys, we don't have it. Maybe next time, bring that big 14-foot python. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you like these birds, and then you're like, oh my God. Because that's middle, we're not. And the biggest thing, we pull out a cockroach, big mad gas macaque. People just look at already gave you just the thought of it. She gave you the shake off. I'm like, poor, no. Because we can't relate to it. Scotty Boy in the back loves tarantulas. Not so much. Okay. And he handles everything. And I'm right behind him, not really cool on the tarantula. We have tarantulas. Like, oh my God, I sweat profusely when I'm holding it. It's like, no, I can do this. So it's all about your own biology, understanding your biology. Let's go ahead and do this. We're going to bring out this next one. This should be kind of fun. We'll see if his mind is in the right place. Hey, kiddo. Yes, I see you. Sure, we see you. This guy is not found around here. Those other two birds. Okay, that's not. I got you. Give me a second. The bird that we just flew, the red tail and the red shoulder, found here. This is not. This is the desert Southwest. This is Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, down to central South America. I'm going to come over here. Boy, we're ready. I want to make sure he sees. Oh my God, he's gone. I think he's ready to fly. I'm not sure. I think we're good. Let's see. This is where we start handing out haircuts, folks. So stand still. We're coming to a neighborhood near you. There we go. Very good. And really, no one is immune to this. We've got to have this kind of experience. Come to the back row, the cheap seats. Well, right over our host. Yeah. Desert Southwest, Arizona, Texas, New Mexico. Wonderful birds. For 2 seasons, he was the mascot for the Atlanta Hawks. It was neat to be able to travel up there. We did 25 games a year. Had some fun with that project. Got to meet people like, I don't know if you've ever heard Shaquille O'Neal, but it's kind of interesting. Kobe Bryant. Anyway, here we go. Right by you, almost a haircut again. It is the only bird of prey that we know that is actually social. There's other birds that may congregate in great numbers. We're coming right down to the tip right there, right over you. Just me and you. I had to show you some love. A little bit of love. It's the only social bird prey that we know of. It hunts in packs, and so as a falconer, I've hunted with this type of bird for 25 years. Here we go. The cool thing is that we can hunt these in groups. In the wild, they hunt together in groups. Here we go. There you go. Right over here. Oh. I don't think you can get any more crouched down in your seat. Wow, that was tight. So, where they're found, family packs, mom, dad, brothers, sisters, aunts, maybe as many as 15 hunting in unison together. They're all hunting together. In fact, of all the, now hard to see there, but we'll see, hopefully. I guess he does see it. Of all the pack hunting animals, whether or not it's orcas and the sea killer whales, whether or not it's lions, a pride lion in Africa, whether or not it's gray wolves, if we think about the wolves hunting together, this bird, the study indicates, this species has the highest success rate of any pack animal. Here we go. He's busy eating. There we go. So fascinating. So when I go west, I'll be going in November to hunt with them. My buddies and I, we have these birds, and so we'll have 4 of us hunting high desert jackrabbit that weighs 10 pounds. We'll run at our feet, and you have 4 of these guys doing an open field pack. So it's pretty. All right, I think we have harassed just about everybody. Have we? Everybody done? Just do one more right there. Or no, right there, Sarah. Right? Good photograph. Yeah. Ready? All right, let's give them a round of applause. Woo! Harris hawk or Harris's, it's actually Harris's apostrophe S. It was named after, or it used to be called the bay-winged hawk, but they called it Harris's hawk after James Audubon's buddy, whose last name was Harris. So and no one pronounces the Harris's hawk. It's just Harris hawk. But that's what they call them. They're found native to Texas, and you'll see them in Arizona. I saw them out in Arizona for the first time. It's kind of neat to see wild Harris hawk out there. Any other questions while we're at it? We're going to fly another bird or two. Yes?
Why does he fly so low?
Great question. And these are all STEM-related questions. And actually are, because it talks about math, science. Simply this, energy conservation. You'll see it. When you go in from this perch to this perch, which we're getting ready to do in just a minute, or the flight that you just saw, it is, in terms of energy, and nature, energy expenditure governs all natural life, if you think about it. You really calculate it. You deplete your energy, you die. It's pretty simple. You run out of gas in your car, you didn't even make it further, you need to refill. There's nothing. So with them, it's very, very critical that they do not deplete. So your question, it leaves, and as it's, think about aeronautical terms, you drop pitch, we call pitch, or your height. You accelerate. So gravity causes greater speed. So you can simply use gravity pushing down greater speed. Then you can flare your wings, which creates surface area and gives you lift, and then you can go up. So I didn't expend energy just falling down like this, or a couple beats, and then I'm gaining speed, and then I turn my flaps up, and then I get lift, and then I come up here. As opposed to flying straight up. It's just like riding a bike down a hill. If you ride a bike, you don't have to pedal real hard, but you want a little extra speed, and then you shoot all the way up the other hill, other side of the hill. And you're doing it all based on the energy and the speed that nature gave you. You had a angle, and you can capitalize. Birds of prey do it. Life and death depends on energy expenditure, which brings us to the next bird. Which perch are you this perch, you think, or that one? Okay, and you may even see it in this next bird. We like to call it kind of the Harry Potter bird. You know, we've seen a falcon. We've seen several hawks, little kestrel. So it's neat as we try to present different types of birds, especially we have all these birds for wildlife center. But they come out at nighttime. What's the Harry Potter bird? Yeah. An owl. What kind of noise does an owl make? I want to hear it. Yeah, I just do it because I love hearing kids. Yeah. That's a Harry Potter bird. Just a little guy.
Very wise owl.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so let's set down with the wind. Here we go. Kind of taking it all in right now. They do come out at nighttime, but let's explain that they are perfectly capable of seeing. Hello. We're just going to fixate on somebody in the back. Here we go. So wise is he. Let's go. Anytime this guy would be really nice. Love for you to. Looking at Scott, do I have clearance to fly? You actually do. Let's go. Let's not. Here we go. All righty. Go to the bathroom first. Light your load. There you go. Always before takeoff.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Okay, while he's debating the point, you want to close it? What I like about this, let me show you something real quickly. You know, Winnie the Pooh, the wise old owl. I'm not talking bad about you. I was just saying that they have been branded as being wise largely because Winnie the Pooh, that was very actually held. Look at the wingspan of this is a male. The female is even bigger. Yeah, we agree. This bird was raised in captivity. So your Eurasian eagle owl, it's not found native to North America. Here we go. Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you in the least, but would love for you to come my way. So, they are nocturnal. They're hunting. They're corpuscular. More specifically, they hunt kind of in dusk and dawn. They are capable of seeing quite well in very minimal light. You know, to say that they see in no light is maybe a bit much, but it is true. They don't have to see it, actually. They don't have to see their intended target. They can simply, and I wonder if I back away, they don't have to see their target. They just simply can rely upon their sense of hearing. Owls have exquisite hearing. We know that. The studies indicate that they might even be able to hear like a rabbit's heartbeat, 10 feet away without any problem, just locating it by sound alone. Here we go. Let's see if you like some more. Switch places.
Raising a teenager.
Okay, apparently we got a thing going on. I'm good with you. Those are ear tufts, those feathers. Oh, he clearly has a thing against me. That's just showed up. I'm speaking well of you, but so ear tufts, not the ears. The ears are actually located beside the eyes. One's high and one's low, asymmetric, which means symmetrical. A little bit high and low. This bird has a